Folk, this is a very significant part of the proceedings. I'll now like to call on Air Commodore Richard Lennon, or to most of you, I know him as Richard, but most of you know him as Yoko. And Yoko is going to present the Defence Force Surface Medal Federation Star to Wing Commander Dave Henderson. Thank you.
Any introduction. I think you all understand the significance of the Federation Star. 40 years of service in the ADF, of continuous full-time and reserve service, is a magnificent achievement for anybody. But just before I start on the presentation, last night I sent a text message to the captain of the Chinook that provided the fly pass to us, providing him a little bit of a description of what we saw from the ground and the general feeling as that Chinook flew over the top. And I got a reply this morning. He said, "Hi Richard." I think he forgot I was an Air Commodore. I addressed the crew this morning with your message and everyone was very happy to hear. We saw an impressive crowd at the flyover and knew we were on target. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and I'm certain it's thanks to the old and bold crews of 12 Squadron. I wasn't happy with that. It's thanks to the old and bold crews that the Chinook has its place in the Army today. Thanks for the opportunity and all the best, Ryan. Hendo joined the Air Force in 1976 on 101 pilots course with another person here today, Keith Jerd. After pilots course, they went straight to 12 Squadron in 1977 and were the first two pilots off conversion course to actually fly the Chinook. Before that, everybody apparently had experience on something else. Hendo stayed in the squadron for 4 years. Sorry, there you are. Hendo stayed in the squadron for 4 years until 1981 when he headed off to 2FTS to become, well, he became a flying instructor, then headed off to 2FTS, where he met a couple of good-looking roosters who were under training at the time, Gobbo. He was so taken aback by these two roosters that in 1986 he felt he had to go back to the squadron, become the training flight commander, so that he could just draw our talents out a little bit more on the Air Force's greatest platform. So began his second tour, and 3 years as training flight commander and then the XO, instilling a lot of life lessons in us young fellas, and we really appreciated that. He was there to the very end, as a lot of people in the room were, and he was the disbandment parade commander in 1989, I think in about late June. August. No, June. I was there. When the flying was done. After 12 Squadron, Hendo headed back to 1FTS to do a little bit of flying there. And the reason I mentioned the disbandment parade in '89 was obviously he had earned a reputation as parade commander because he got to do the disbandment parade for 1FTS as well in 1992. After that, I think Hendo's flying days were numbered. He went to Staff College. He held a number of staff positions. He ended up in Headquarters 1 Division as a Division Air Liaison Officer in 1996 and stayed there for another 4 years. During that time, of course, he ended up in East Timor in '99 as part of INAFET as a Senior Planning Officer. He's contributed a lot to the Air Force in that time, and it was time to give some time, summon himself back to his family. So he took a year off to care for his elderly dad, which in the end led to him retiring from the Permanent Air Force in 2001. In the intervening 18 years, Hendo has been an active member of the Reserve Force, working for Air Command, mostly in the area of policy and doctrine. I'm not sure what you did for those 18 years, Hendo. Still waiting for the good stuff. But he's had, it's probably not appropriate to say polite company, but maybe a couple of age extensions to get him to his 40 years. So that is an awesome achievement in itself. And I don't have to say to the people in the room today that the Air Force is not a job, and the Army and the rest of the ADF. It's not a job, it's a vocation. We all did it because we loved it, we got personal satisfaction out of it, and we got the rewards of helping other people, whether it was drought relief, flood relief, assisting general populations. The Chinook was a mighty beast. Hendo spent most of his career, or the most amount of his career, flying Chinooks in 12 Squadron in those 2 tours. And so I think it's really befitting that we can present your Federation Star to you tonight here. So on behalf of the Chief of Air Force, it's my great pleasure in front of your esteemed colleagues from 12 Squadron to present you with your Federation Star.
Thank you, sir. Very quickly, I spent 43 years in the Air Force, 7 years at 12 Squadron, and they were the happiest years of my life, those 7 years. I'd like to thank you all for making those 7 years fabulous. Thank you very much.